Stephen, you guys won 9 of your last 11. During some of the bumps in the road, you preached stay the course with this group. What have you seen in terms of how they've been able to battle through adversity and in particular the bullpen and how they've responded?
Yeah, it's just a testament to the entire group. Our players have stayed consistent with their work. They've stayed consistent with their routines. It's what you have to do over 162 games. You can't react to 3 games or react to 10, or you have to stay the course. And our guys have done a great job with that. And what we're seeing to me is a maturation of some young players. And just from the strides they've made from opening day until now, and just learning and banking those experiences, those reps. And with the bullpen in particular, it's always been next guy up. You know, if people are down, we have game. We can't throw the same guys every single game. And there's been some people like Nick Enright, Eric Sabrowski, Colby Allard, Jacob Junis that have gotten some opportunities to pitch and leverage, which maybe they hadn't gotten up until this point very often in their careers. And they've really answered the call with that and done a nice job.
Kind of in the same line of questioning, Logan Allen had some early issues in New York, but after that he looked great. What have you seen from him recently in terms of how he's been able to stay the course?
Yeah, Logan has done phenomenal in partnering with our pitching group with Carl, Joe, and BG, and Caleb to really refine his pitches and find deliveries and find ways to spin the ball a little bit differently at times. But the main thing with Logan is he competes. He competes and he throws strikes. When he's in the strike zone, we've talked about it all year. When Logan Allen's competing in the strike zone, he's got an opportunity to go deep into games and, you know, gets the big double play ball in New York and ends up giving us 5 solid innings. And, you know, when he's attacking, he gets quick outs. When he's missing the zone a little bit, that's where the pitch count can drive up. But Logan has really been super consistent for us over the last handful of starts, and really like the way he's pitching.
On the bullpen, are you concerned that not in Class A for at least August, maybe longer, will catch up to you bullpen as the season progresses?
We have 8 guys in our bullpen. It's been the story the whole year. They've changed over the time. I couldn't be more proud of what our bullpen's doing right now.
How's Kwan handling the wrist right now since he got that injection? Has it been bothering him since then, or is it?
No, Kwani's healthy. You know, Kwani had a week where he didn't get a bunch of hits, and that happens to any hitter on the planet at any given time. But Kwani's feeling healthy. He's ready to rock, and excited to watch him play today.
How much has Kyle Manzardo's kind of emergence as a consistent performer helped the lineup so that it's not leaning so heavily on Kwani and Posey all the time?
Yeah, Manzo stepped up in a big way, especially since, you know, he returned for the family leave list. He's been on fire. You know, Kyle, we were watching his development in front of us. You know, we talked about he gets a lot of unfair pressure put on him. This guy with barely over a year of service time that's becoming a very consistent middle of the order bat and continue to put a ton of work in on his defense. But Kyle's at bats the last month plus have just been phenomenal. He's taken what the pitcher gives him. You make a mistake, he's driving out of the yard. He's working big walks and big times, and it just really helps lengthen the lineup and be that consistent protection behind Hosey.
Do you feel like he's a guy too that, in addition to that, has the right temperament to go the long haul? Because there are so many ups and downs, but you never see him like too high or too low, even when maybe he doesn't go low.
Yeah, Manzo's got a steady heartbeat. He doesn't allow anything to get him up or down, and and that's been a learning process too. Every player goes through that. You don't know how to handle failure. You don't know how to handle a lot of success. You've never been here, and Kyle's learned in a really quick way how to temper his emotions. I'm really proud of him for that.
I saw the boot by Lane's locker. Is he back walking around without that now?
Yeah, so when he's at the field, he's going through all of his progression, but away from the field, he's still to take the pressure off the foot. He's feeling a lot better. He's progressing really well. He's feeling good. He's running and doing a little bit of baseball activity. So Lane's progressing really well.
We saw John Means here. What's his kind of status?
Yeah, so he made the start in Arizona, and now that league's over, so he's here with us. He's throwing a bullpen tomorrow, and then once he comes out of that bullpen, we'll determine what the next step is for him. But it's good to see John. It was really good to see him walk through the door.
Is there hope he could be an option for you before the season ends?
Definitely. I think, again, we don't put the cart before the horse when it comes to rehab, and especially with a case like John's where it was his second Tommy John. But he's feeling great. Smile on his face. He said he's excited to be here with us in Cleveland. Needed to get out of Arizona, and we're happy to have him.
This might not be your box, but what went into the promotion of Bazzana to AAA?
Yeah, our player development group and our organization felt that he was ready to go to Columbus. So we had a handful of, transactions up and down the organization with the Arizona Complex League closing, and then now adding in the new drafted players. You're always going to have some shuffle, and our group felt that Travis and the others that were promoted to Columbus were ready for that jump.
What was just some of the first week and a half of CJ Capus with the group and what you've learned about him?
Yeah, really like CJ a lot. He can manage an at-bat. He's another guy, temperament is steady all day. We've asked him to go play right field a lot, first base, even DH a game. Just the consistency of CJ's at-bats has been super impressive the first couple of weeks he's been here, and he's going to add a lot to our team. We know that, and I'm excited.
When prepping for this series with the Marlins, what jumps out?
Man, they're fun to watch. They run, they bunt, they pinch hit. It's craziness, and they're going to put a ton of pressure on us. They're going to make us catch the ball. They're going to make us take care of it. Like I said, they're not afraid to run at any moment. They're not afraid to bunt at any moment. So we have to be ready to defend it, and we have to make our pitches, because when you make mistakes, they're ready to hit them, and they can string some big innings together. So we gotta keep them at bay, and we have to play clean baseball on our side.
When you look at them, from a scouting perspective, getting ready for them, how much do you look at? Are they the team that was at one point like 20 games under 500 versus the team that got all the way back to 500?
Yeah, they're a really good team that we have to play well against every day they're here. It's big league baseball. On any given night, any given team can play well or not play well. And we've seen that with ourselves, let alone our opponents. So be prepared for what they could do, and we have to execute pitches, and we have to be ready to hit theirs.
What did you see from Ciccone in Chicago?
It just looked like he lost his command of his off-speed pitches. He kind of left two pitches over the middle in the first inning and got hit for some homers, and just really never got a feel for anything off-speed. And they made him work, and he just got hit.
Carl, tonight, CC Sabathia night here at the ballpark. What did it mean to you to see him go into the Hall of Fame?
It's the highlight, obviously, of my coaching career. Listen, I was fortunate enough to play in a World Series and win a World Series, and nothing will ever top that. But knowing CC since he was literally 17 years old, having the honor to work with him and just help his path and journey throughout the minor leagues and into the major leagues, and to see him attain that status, which I think it's so well deserved. It really meant more to me than I can put into words.
He's talked so much about how much you've meant to him, but how would you describe how much he means to you?
Well, it's funny, when we traded him to Milwaukee back in 2008, I told him that. I said, listen, you have no idea how much you have meant to me. And I said, I have no idea how much longer I'll be doing this, but I feel like in some way, I will always be connected to you because you were kind of the first round pick and, main, prospect in an organization that I had the opportunity to work with. And not only that, just someone of that status, that ability, the person he is and how we were able to bond and communicate with each other gave me a tremendous amount of confidence to try to be that same person for everyone else. And he's meant an awful lot to my career.
That's awesome. Let's talk a little bit about this team right now, the bullpen in particular, best ERA in baseball since July 1st. How have you seen that group rally together throughout the adversity they've had to face?
Yeah, we obviously have had some adversity and we have some new names out there, and obviously with new names come new roles. But I think we've seen similar to what we saw last year. These guys are so close and so tight knit, and they take a lot of pride not only in picking each other up, but talking about the game and talking about what they're going through, because everyone's been through struggles, everyone's been through good times, and just that ability to have someone sitting beside you that you can talk with about any situation, I think it's a comfort, and I certainly am so impressed with how they go about picking one another up.
Tonight we'll see Logan Allen on the mound. In New York, had a little bit of trouble early on, but found his way out of that second inning and looked great afterwards. What's the key to success for Logan?
You know, honestly, it sounds simple, but it's strike throwing. You know, and early on in the game there in New York, we saw his ball to strike percentage not be great. They weren't egregious misses. There were some very close pitches, and I think just his ability to establish strike throwing. And really, with any pitcher, with all of his pitches, but certainly Logan can do that. And when he does, he has the ability to change shapes and change speeds and have very effective outings. And, you know, while you don't want to start off kind of on the wrong foot, so to speak, I think it's very encouraging that we have seen Logan a couple of times this year be able to right the ship, so to speak, and recover and get us deeper in the game to turn it over to the bullpen.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask about Gavin Williams' last outing as well, nearly a complete game and a no-hitter. How special was that for you to take in, and what have you seen in terms of the growth from Gavin?
You know, Gavin has been a tremendous worker, and he's been a pleasure for all of us in the pitching group to work with, because he asks questions of us, and it's not just listening to what we say. It's sometimes him asking us questions. It's sometimes him asking us why or what do you think. And that just, you know, he's a guy who came up, you know, at East Carolina University in college. I mean, tremendously gifted. I don't know how much he had to figure out, because he said he had such an impressive fastball that he, you know, tunneled with a really good slider. Now you get to the major league level relatively quick. And it's a lot more to it than just those two pitches and just that special fastball that he has. And to see him go out, I just think we continue to see him mature, understand who he is, and continue to gain confidence, which he's never wavered in that confidence in the right way. But I think he's fully becoming, you know, a really good major league pitcher, and that was fun to watch.